857 hours. It's called logistics.
Brother, why you trying to find the longest movie?
Huh?
Why you trying to find the longest movie?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I was just looking for the longest one ever made. It says called logistics.
Oh.
It was 857 hours.
He said he was just looking at the.
That's crazy.
The Commanders' offense getting set to go fresh off a victory in Week 1. And they are led by this man in his 5th season at wide receiver as he comes in off a very strong performance in the season opener.
Boy, was it ever.
Yeah.
Over 100 yards to get things started on the year. He's off on the right foot. Now, he wants to add another one to it, doesn't he?
They told the local paper this morning, I want another, and then another, and then another. I think there was like 3 or 4 another's in there. Daniels looking to throw.
It's 35 days.
It's complete. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
Turn it off. How long the movie is? Wait, the running time.
I don't fucking know. The length of the football here on second down.
It's crazy, right? I don't know. That shit would have to
They go play action. Daniels.
Just to watch that
over
movie.
The middle, it's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive. Well, he's one of the top receivers in the game, Charles, so no surprise here on the opening drive. They want to get him involved, and he has catches on back-to-back plays.
And, Brandon, I look at it from the defense's perspective. You know he's one of the top receivers in the game. You've got to find ways to slow him down because if he gets into high gear, he's going to shred you all game long.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. To the air goes Daniels. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT. We talk about this Giant defense. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
And hey, they were stingy in the opener. Didn't allow much of anything at all through the air. So now they come into week 2 saying, hey, let's see if we can do even better. Let's go ahead and get to that number 1 spot.
And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Going down the middle, and it's complete. It's another first down as they look his way again, this time 19 yards. Well, they're not hiding who their central focus is on offense. Charles, he already now has 4 receptions here on this opening drive.
And I know people who are watching the game are thinking, did they forget about him in the defensive game plan? But it's actually been the opposite. They're giving him a lot of attention, but he's been very creative and savvy in his route running and finding seams and openings in order to create these completions.
Here we go, start.
To throw is Daniels. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game. And it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Commanders get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting.
The Commanders' offense, led by their wide receiver, headed out for their second possession. And it may be time for this defense to start throwing a second defender his way, because whatever they've done, it has not worked in this first half.
Check smash! Check smash!
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
On the ready!
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. Well, they have not been shy about looking his way in this first half. That's already 7 catches for him now. And we've yet to hit halftime.
Ready, set!
Second down and 4. Here's Daniels. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Brian Burns flying in there and dropping him for the sack.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Ready!
Throwing now is Daniels. And that is incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3 and out and giving the ball back to their offense?
The Commanders preparing for their next possession.
Let's go!
Now Daniels. Open man here is Scott, complete. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Ready, ready!
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. First chance for the Commanders offense now as they head out for their open.
On the double.
Working out of the gun, Daniels. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. You take a look at his receiving numbers so far. He's been terrific. Up over 100 yards now for the game.
Come on. Set. 18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that can really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Set up. Bronco switch. Ready.
Back to throw now on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Back to throw again. Looking middle, and that's complete. And the Commanders are going to be set up with a first and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. A great effort there. His second. So here is Washington now to take over.
Ready.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
What a game he's having. They've not been able to stop him or even slow him down. He's got 2 touchdowns already. That could have been a third. He's got the secondary coach asking. Back now at Commanders Field. It's Washington with the football and the lead as we start the 4th. So here's a first and 10 now down inside the 20.
Ready.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get this down only to the 18. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
Bronco 80.
Someone moved, flag is out. That's going to be 5 yards.
And that'll drive coaches crazy. You work all week on dealing with loud crowds, on dealing with motion, and then you have a guy jump.
Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
They'll give him 4 yards there. And the Washington offense heading out.
Let's go now.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Throwing right, and that's complete. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up first and 10.
Tag.
off the play fake. Daniels. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Back to throw. Daniels. And he takes it in for a Commanders touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Commanders are on their way to a 2-0 start. What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the 4th quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remain.
And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review.
That's
of
a
this
touchdown.
being inside 2 minutes of play. Everything coming from up above.
I dragged my feet
Did
and
he
everything.
keep
I had
those feet
possession
in
and
bounds?
everything.
That's the question they've got to decide.
better give me
And
that
I got to
touchdown.
say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the folks in New York just going to wind up confirming what the official saw as this play will stand as is.
Yeah, bitch, it's a touchdown. Oh, man, nigga.
Stomach not sore?
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different.
Oh, gets put up, right? Okay. Lag.
What the hell?
What was that?
The Commanders' offense set to go to work, 2-0 on the young season. Throwing right away is Daniels. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage. That's the one that we've been waiting for, the record-breaking reception, 1,550, the NFL's all-time leading receiver, and we just got to witness it.
How great is that? And frankly, I didn't expect us to witness it. I thought this record would last even longer, even though, when was Jerry Rice's last catch?
2004 in Seattle.
So that stood up a long time anyway. I thought it was out of reach. Congratulations. Forget the standing O. A moment of silence and reverence for this achievement.
Now we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort.
Come on, come on. Ready.
Operating from the gun. Daniels. Over the middle, it's complete. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 33, here's second down and 1. Again, he'll drop to throw. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Cowboys are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up second down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's going to step out of bounds all the way down on the other side of midfield. Another catch for him there, and the numbers starting to stack up a bit. He's closing in already on a 100-yard game. We're still in the first half. So from Cowboy territory now, here's first and 10 at the 41. Operating from the gun, Daniels. Middle of the field, he's got McLaurin. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. They'll look to throw again. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. Daniels working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 22-yard line. Operating from the gun, Daniels. And that'll be incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Let's go now. Ready.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down.
Man, let's go.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, his 2nd touchdown. So here is Washington now to take over. They've won.
Cowboy 80.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. Here's 2nd and 3. Operating from the gun. Daniels. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Coming up at half. halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
What the fuck?
The Washington offense set to take over.
Ready, ready. 77 Wolf.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. As the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
19 Lions.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Why would you throw it like that, you fucking remedial bitch?
Seconds remaining. 2nd and 10.
Damn, bro.
Back to throw. Daniels. That one out wide and intercepted. And the Cowboys are going to get it back here just past the 35. The visitors' offense and their wide receiver getting set for this.
Okay, break. Come on, come on.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels.
Damn, that's what you get. That's what you get.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right
That
up in
nigga got
his grill. I
smacked.
think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Bitch.
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays.
You better catch that.
This is caught inside the 15. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
Looking to throw. Daniels. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Dawson.
Say this.
Here we go on the next drive for Washington.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Go. Ready.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Press all 80. Go.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And the timing a bit off that time as that would fall.
Man, this nigga can't throw the ball worth shit.
Force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Wide open receiver, complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 36. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. Back to throw. Daniels.
What type of throw was that?
Incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But but you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your
come
guys going
on.
downfield to catch the ball. They've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
What a kickoff to the week this has been. Now a big play. It's third down. And that's going to be incomplete. The Cubs. A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
It's overtime, bro.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that will bring up second down. Play action. Now it's Daniels. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. Daniels looking to throw.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a man
Oh,
wide
yeah.
open, complete. Touchdown, Washington. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately.
Oh, shoot. What the hell?